Just so you know that it's Veterans Day, so I got my Army sweatshirt on.
Good for you. Good for you.
Nice.
You know, there was that movement to have
Just so
everybody
you
put
know that
green
it's
light
Veterans Day,
bulbs
so I
in
got my
their
Army
porch
sweatshirt.
lights. Did you hear about that?
Good for you. Good for you.
Nice.
I'm gonna mute.
You know, there was that movement to have
Just so
everybody
you
put
know that it's
green light
Veterans Day,
bulbs
so I
in
got my
their
Army
porch
sweatshirt.
lights. Did you hear about
Good for
that?
you. Good for you.
Nice.
We have like a repeat
You know, there
going on
was
here.
that
Yeah, it's the echo
Just so
chamber.
you know that it's Veterans Day, so I got my Army sweatshirt.
Good for you.
Ah, now I know what's going on. Hang on one second. It automatically opened up another window here. We're getting all kinds of feedback. All right.
Yep.
I thought I was having a flashback.
From all those drugs, sex, and rock and roll days. Let me see here. Yeah, we're good. We're rolling. We're on YouTube.
Okay. Well, I know John Cordes will probably be joining, but I think I'll go ahead and get started so we stay on time, if that's okay with the members.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, that's Jeff.
That's
That's
Jeff.
Jeff Flag. Yep.
Okay. Well, we needed Jeff anyways, so we needed him to be on. Good, Jeff. Thanks.
Good morning.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. Okay. So we are going to get started. So I would like to call the meeting to order. This is the Glens Falls Industrial Development Agency monthly meeting, and we have a quorum. I'd just like to start. I think you all know we've been meeting virtually anyways because of the heightened issues with COVID in the community, but also City Hall is closed today in honor of Veterans Day. And we normally wouldn't meet on Veterans Day, but we're also trying to stay on schedule before the end of the year. I think we just had someone join.
That's me. I'm going to
Thanks, Mary.
computer now.
Yeah,
Very
I got
good.
Mary back on. There we go.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, there we go. So I just think at the start of the meeting, I'd like us to, I'd just like for the minutes to express how much we honor all those who have served our country in war and in peace, and grateful for this day. And I know that American Legion Post 233 is doing something today. So Mayor, I assume that you're going to be at that, and appreciate that.
Yep.
The what I'll do is hold back on any kind of special chair report until we get to project reports, and I'll get right into the administrative reports. The first are the meeting minutes from our October 14th meeting. And then we also have the meeting minutes from our, was it October 28th public hearing and special board meeting, which are not on the agenda, but I'd like to do both. You have copies of both in your items. There is one change. Lois Robinson was present at the public hearing and special board meeting on October 28th. And so I will make that modification if everyone is okay with the minutes, other than that one change. Jane, you're on mute. Jane, you're on mute. I think you made a motion. Oh, there you go.
Yep, I did. Move
is
to
there-
accept both of those with that change.
With that change, is there a second?
I'll second.
The second is Mary Gooden. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Very good. Related to our membership on our board, I do want to let the members know that our dear friend and loyal member, Todd Feigenbaum, has announced to Mayor Hall and myself that his intention to step down at the end of the calendar year. Todd, I don't know if you want to say anything, but
Oh.
we haven't accepted that yet, but
We don't have to.
we don't have to. So, but I did want to give you a minute if you wanted to say something.
Well, I've certainly enjoyed all my time. It's been 15 going on 16 years that I've been involved in the organizations. And I just decided it was time to share the fun and let other people, get in on all this fun. But I've certainly enjoyed working with everybody and will miss seeing your faces either in person or in Zoom.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
we'll
miss
be
you.
we'll be discussing this again next month, but you're always welcome to come and participate. You're still a loyal member of this community with an important business here, and I'm sure we'll hear from you from time to time in that way.
Very good.
The financial report is with everyone for months ended October 31, 2021. There were nothing significant there, but Mark, if you have anything to add, please jump in. And
yeah, just 2 Fitzgerald checks that totaled $816. Reconciled the cash at $37,670. The due froms, I should say, CDC to LDC is of course hit. We have Queensbury checks deposited that'll clear in November for $750 and $28,312, which would bring our IDA balance up to $66,572. I understand through Suzanne that Whittemore is working on the audit engagement letters. And if it follows prior years, I'll bring them up their load of material in probably early January. They'll come into the office probably for a day and a half. They'll have our audited financials by February, and then we can begin working on the Paris reports, get that completed before March 31st. That is, as far as IDA, that is it.
any questions for Mark or for anyone on the financial reports?
I have one question for the large check of 28,000. What was that for?
That says,
That was for the a closing that we did with the Queensbury Hotel.
So,
I'm sorry, it's 88 Ridge Royal, but Queensbury Hotel.
so what does
Karen.
it cover?
It's the IDA's administrative fee. So those are funds that go directly to the IDA. There's no payments. They paid our legal fee and any other expenses directly.
Okay,
Yeah, and we received that the day that, I believe it was the same day that I signed the documents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, anyone else with a question on the financial report as presented or for Mark? Is there a motion to approve the report?
Make the motion.
Mary made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second was, I'm sorry,
John,
John Cordes is the second. Thank you. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Motion is passed. The financial report is accepted as presented. I do want to note related to Mark's report that in the month of December, while we have no project business to come before the CDC, we will have a CDC board meeting so that we can move forward with the audit. We still required annually to do an audit and to file those Paris reports. And in order to get everything approved for that to go forward in the first quarter of 2022, we'll want to meet as a board and approve those documents. So that will be added to our list of activities for the December 9th board meeting. For the payment of bills, for this month, we have one bill to Fitzgerald Morris Baker Firth for $160. Is there a motion to approve that payment?
So moved.
Second.
Todd, second, Jane, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Mark, there's not going to be anyone at City Hall today to sign that. So we'll take care of that Friday or Monday, okay?
Yeah, bring them up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have no other administrative reports to bring forward under project reports. In terms of 88 Ridge Royal LLC, I think as you know, we received their payment, and so part of that transaction has closed. There's another part of the transaction related to the Queensberry Hotel's financing with their bank, and that has not closed yet. We've signed those documents. We're prepared to close as soon as the bank is, and we expect that to be any day. The hotel has started construction. The contractors are on site. A lot of that initial work is related to site or infrastructure work that is being done by or on behalf of National Grid to get that site ready before snow flies here. So if you drive by, you'll see that's what's going on. We also have the Elizabeth Miller project still under construction, and that is going forward. All other projects that we've done are completed at this time and up and operating. Happy to take any questions that you may have. I have no other business and no need for an executive session unless the members do. There being none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the meeting and call for a meeting on December 9th.
So moved.
Make that-
Second, motion made by Jane Reed, second by Mary Gooden. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Yay.
I like your meetings, Judy.
Yeah.
Mayor, I'll turn it over to you for the LDC.
Thank you, Chairman. This is the November 11th Greater Glens Falls Local Development Corporation call to order. The first part of our business will be to approve the minutes of the October 14th, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Financial reports. Mark, you want to go through our financial report?
Yeah, all the cash accounts reconciled through October, loan balances all paid and balanced through October. Let's see, only activity we had with the loan interest for $270, Fitzgerald bill for $320, CT mail for DRI for $2,560, insurance expense from prepaid for $1,220, a few payroll expenses for $530. There's an accrued expense listed. I put it in accrued expense for Abby's cookie jar where the monies came in and the monies will go out for
Right.
$458.90. Let's see. The operating cash balance at the end of October was $11,568 with the checks that we'll be approving today. That'll bring the balance in the operating account LDC down to $10,046. The DRI cash balance would be down once that Abby's check clears. That'll be down to $55,560. Let's see what else. And I guess it's early yet, but are we going to bid insurance? That'll be coming up next spring, March or April. So just throwing that out there now.
How many years have we been with this? Have we done 3 years in a row?
With Cool Insuring?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we should probably think about that then.
I think we had talked about that.
Given everything we have to do in the first quarter of the year to meet all our ABO obligations, if we're going to do that, I'd recommend that maybe we get started in December.
I think that's what Mark was thinking too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mark, will you do that? Will you get that rolling for us?
Sure, yep. And that is pretty much it. I talked to Jeff on that $40 check for the Department of State, which is just a renewal for the loans. I talked to Sue from Syracuse office. She just said she does the application, which renews every 5 years. I told her the check would be in the mail probably no later than Friday or Monday. And that is it.
And Mark, that has to do with the USDA, and I think Jeff is going to give us a report on that program in a minute here.
And she suggested the balance, the maturity date on the loan, the 2041, and our current balance is 148,298. That's
And
it.
what's in the account? Do you know what's in the USDA account?
As far as balance, you're saying?
Yeah.
148,298 and 41 cents.
Okay. And what's owed to USDA if we were to pay it back? I know we don't have that amount, do we?
No.
Okay.
You mean if all the loans were called?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Ooh. What, are you implying we're overextended, Judy? What's your problem, Judy? Right.
I think it might be that Samantha's loan, but
Yeah, I figured that's where we were going. All right, yeah.
Okay, so a motion to approve Mark's report.
so
So
moved.
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Next is the payment of bills. As you can see here, we have Fitzgerald Morris Baker, we have account temps, the LDC operating bills, DRI. The total is $3,361.94. Motion to approve the bills, payment of the bills.
So moved. Mary?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So just to talk a little bit about the situation with the balance in the LDC, we are going to infuse the account with monies from the ARPA funds that we're getting from the federal government, and we'll be talking with Suzanne about that. Suzanne and I had a brief discussion, so we'll be able to help bring that balance up substantially to help us keep operating the programs that we've got going. So just to let you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. As Judy had said, the USDA Intermediary Lending Program. Jeff, I don't know if you do have much of a report on that. I know that you were trying to do a little more of a deep dive into finding out because we didn't have documents. You found some, but I don't know if you found what you needed. So go ahead and give me what you got.
Yeah, well, just very briefly, and to follow up on what Mark said, to remind everyone where this is, the USDA program was started, the relending program was started in 2011. And this, for current purposes, includes relatively recent loans like, as has been mentioned, the bullpens, which has been now fully repaid, Samantha's, which has gone into default, and a couple of others. There's Hank's Carpet, ELM, I think there's a Chester Road project, all of which are working through the same program. It has to be renewed every 5 years in order to keep it current, unless you close it out, which obviously we will not do since we have open loans. And it will finally close in 2031, at which time all the monies will be due. So the check that Mark was talking about was simply, and I know he spoke to Susan at USDA, and I spoke to Gary Pereira, who's the program officer, and this was simply to renew the program for another 5 years to keep it open. It was suggested from Gary Pereira that, if we do have any monies that we need to sort of recoup, it might be worthwhile to sort of hold this open as long as possible, i.e. until 2031, such that we can gather funds together through interest or whatever other means until the repayment is made in 2031. So there'll be further renewals another one in 2026, and then finally it will close in 2031.
Great.
So
Thank you.
I had asked that we get a report on this because I think that we should have a plan, even though we've got a substantial amount of time before the full amount needs to be paid back. I think it makes sense. It doesn't need to be done immediately, but that the LDC come up with a plan as to whether or not it makes sense to lend any of those funds that are currently in the bank account. Which
Again.
is, I think Mark just said, is 148,000. And so is it wise to lend that, or should we move it into an account that earns greater interest so that we can cover that past due amount that Samantha reneged on, which is about 22,000 or 22,500. And so I just think we need to have someone kind of run those numbers, take a look at the interest rates and see if there's a temporary fund that we could move that into. If we could get those resources back through interest in some way, maybe we could make that active and continue to lend those monies to other projects in the community if we have confidence that we can cover that exposure.
We must be regulated as to where we can plant those funds.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The LDC has an investment policy. So whoever is going to be looking into that should also reference the investment policy, because that'll indicate exactly where and where not the monies can be deposited.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll gather together, Jeff and I and Bill and other members of the group and try to figure out what's the best plan on that. And I appreciate that, Judy. We do need a path forward. So is there any other reports that you would like to report on? We're going to go to project reports next. So. Okay, so we'll jump right into the downtown DRI Revitalization Initiative. I'm going to turn that over to Jeff to give us a brief Jeff update on the projects that are listed below. Go ahead.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Sometimes I always think other people are doing that to me. So I'll start with the line that you have there. Market Square, the city has been in ongoing negotiations with Bonaccio Construction about the several properties that comprise Market Square for the LDC's purposes. Of course, those include 45 Elm and 36 Elm and 45 South Street, which is Hot Shots and the Incubator. The discussions up till now have been sort of looking at the buildings as an ensemble of buildings as one large project. ESD, Empire State Development, has sort of looked at these projects sort of separately. When I say these projects, I mean the various composite projects on both sides of Elm Street, right? The Market Center, which is number 2 there on the agenda, which is of course the what we historically called the year-round farmers market. We've sort of called it Market Center. We might want to call it something closer to an event center, if you will. And then the other side, which of course is the Pavilion lot, which is the city-owned lot where the farmers market currently is, and which Bonaccio owns the adjacent property at Sandy's. We're I don't want to say we're at an impasse, but I would say we're in the midst of negotiations to the extent that Bonaccio had come to the city with a proposal that I would classify as a fairly aggressive proposal from their perspective to try and make these various projects work. The city, Mayor Hall, Mayor Collins-elect, and I met with Larry Novick from Bonaccio about 2 weeks ago and gave a counter proposal. I think obviously we're going to have to find something in the middle between those two, their extreme and our reasonable proposal, let's say that. And I think in getting there, we may have to look at some modifications to the plan. And when I say modifications, we're looking at everything from making a smaller project to perhaps investigating some workforce housing possibilities down in the downtown area, all of which is probably needed. So this will be ongoing. We'd like to get at least some movement on part of this project. In particular, I think we're anxious to move on the south side of Elm Street part, the Hot Shots and Incubator part, which for the LDC is the relevant part to the extent that the LDC owns these properties. That project sort of, and it dovetails pretty easily with the, we've been on ongoing conversations and met with Envision Architects last week to sort of go over the some revised versions of the Market Center property and project itself. As you may or may not know, you should know, I think, we've gotten the original quotations or estimates, I should say, from Envision regarding the initial almost JMZ derived 10,000 square foot project that we had first looked at, I'd say back 2 or 3 months ago. The cost came way, way, way beyond anything that the city could afford, even with the support from ESD. And so we asked Envision to sort of come back and look at some alternative designs, all of which in one way or another incorporate the first floor of the incubator building so that we can sort of take advantage of that space, which in most negotiations we've had with Bonaccio, we're looking to commit to leasing for some significant period of time. So we're moving forward with that. We were given a series of alternative designs. We've settled on, I'll say 1.5, one that has, I think, a great deal of possibility. Another, I think, that we want to sort of continue to consider, perhaps with some modifications. Envision will be getting back to us within the next probably week or two to sort of follow up on those and see if we can sort of finalize, not finalize, to firm up some of the designs that we're looking for there. That's as short as I can make that one. Anybody have any questions about those 2 particular properties or projects, I should say?
So we're not looking to start those anytime this year, probably.
I would say not. No, it wouldn't surprise me if we were able to get some agreement on some aspect of the project. That wouldn't be terribly shocking. But I think, no, there won't be any, no groundbreaking going on this year. And of course, once you get into the holidays, it's hard to get too many things moving too quickly under any circumstances. Other questions? I saw only this morning, I think there was an email, I guess, from Jim Thatcher that he wasn't going to be able to make this meeting. So as far as number 3 and 4, I could speak to him only very briefly and broadly. The city, Jim and I met with Homes and Community Renewal about the composite programs that HCR is funding through the DRI, notably GF Drive, the facade projects, the nonprofit projects, and the art center trail, the art district trail. That was really the crux of it, was the art district trail. Since we met with the various members of the art district, Jim and I did about a week and a half ago as well. We seem to have gotten some clarification on some of the things that they're looking for, they being HCR, as far as procurement policies, repayment conditions, what constitutes a finished project. So I think we're okay there. The subsequent to that, we had discussed the possibility internally, meaning among the DRI working group, the possibility of consolidating whatever remaining funds there might be, either because projects were not completed or sort of abandoned, or proposals were abandoned, monies were left over from various components of these different 4 projects, which are all lumped under one, I believe, $600,000 HCR grant for the DRI, and moving them into, for want of a better term, I'll call it GF Drive 2.0. Since that does seem to have been a pretty successful program, and the projects that we're funding all seem to be sort of moving apace and successfully, the idea would be to take the funds from these remaining funds from these other portions of the grant and reallocate them to some version of GF Drive. Now, whether that was a secondary solicitation, or there's a follow-up with some of the applicants that didn't get funded the first round, whether there were new applicants that have come along in the last 6 months since then, all of which are possibilities because they all have potential candidates. That's what we're proposing, and HCR seemed to be open to that. So their suggestion to us was to wait until the end of the year, meaning about another month or so, and then to, as the year ends, to suggest that we run through, I believe they were talking about the middle of next year, to sort of expend the funds through whatever means we wanted to propose. Ostensibly, the GF Drive 2.0, I'm calling it.
So we don't need, an act of Congress to move those funds. We just sort of get their verbal blessing and we're okay.
Correct. I'm not sure if that's verbal, but I mean, I think we have to get something. We should submit something to them in writing in December with an idea of getting their approval in writing soon thereafter.
Okay.
It didn't sound like an act of Congress was required.
In order to do that, we do need to pass a resolution today in order for that to happen in December. So Jeff, I think you have that draft resolution that Jim prepared. I sent it to you yesterday.
I have it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have it. Mayor, did you want to read that or do you want me to?
Well, we just can read portions of it. I can do it. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do it. This is a resolution dated November 11th. Whereas the Greater Glens Falls LDC has been awarded $600,000 by the New York State Home and Community Renewal under the City of Glens Falls Downtown Revitalization Initiative. And whereas a portion of that funding has been allocated by the Greater Glens Falls LDC and the City of Glens Falls to create the Downtown Revitalization Initiative Venture Enterprise Program, the GF Drive, with the purpose of providing deferred payment loans in accordance with ACR city guidelines to a locally owned business to facilitate startup and expansion projects to support and benefit the overall goals of the DRI and promote additional downtown retail and commercial investments with the City of Glens Falls. And then whereas separate portions of the original $600,000 award were allocated to a fund for downtown revitalization, the purpose of making subgrants to various nonprofit community-based organizations into a facade improvement program for purpose of helping property owners with the DRI target area and rehabilitate their buildings and facades. So I think that's all we need is a motion to go ahead and have the LDC take that over.
I'll make that motion as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The DRI facade programs, not much to report, right?
Nothing beyond what's we've already discussed. There are 3 the projects, they're all moving forward.
Under the the other one is the Small Business Recovery Fund. We have pretty much used all the money in that, but we are going to be getting some more funding from the state through HCR to carry on a Small Business Recovery Fund program. We'll be able to hopefully report more on that at the next month's meeting. Then the CARES Act deferred loan status, those 2 tied together. So I don't have much to report, and we'll wait for Jim to come back and report on those next month. Is there any other business you'd like to discuss? Any other topics that you want to talk about?
So many.
Okay, I don't think we need an executive session, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Me.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.
All right. Thank
Have a
you.
good day, everyone.
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Peter.
Have a good day.
Everybody.
Take care.